How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Liberty Hour here on Spreaker Studio, streaming through the A2 Jack YouTube channel and the 16 Jackson AJ1 Twitter account. I'm here with my good friend Al, and we were just having a nice conversation on the Julian Assange issue, along with Russiagate and some other stuff in general based off of that. We're going to switch gears here, and we're going to go ahead and talk about Joe Biden. And so he has still yet to announce his that he is running for president in 2020 for the Democratic nomination. However, if you look at the polls on Real Clear Politics and the average from all of the polling outlets, he is polling 10 points ahead of the next person, Bernie Sanders, even though he has yet to announce that he is running. And I wanted to get your thoughts. Obviously we've seen the controversy with, the way he's, dealt with women in the past lately. What are your thoughts on Biden? Do you think that he would be the nominee? Why do you think he is still so popular in the Democratic Party over other people?
I have mixed emotions about Biden. So the thing about so Joe, I think the Democrats, like the inter party people would probably, like the DNC would probably work towards a Biden candidacy. I don't think they would like him as much as a Kamala Harris, but I think they could push him to be the nominee easier. I don't really know. Like, I watch videos and stuff on analytical videos on Joe Biden. I don't really know where he ultimately stands on issues. He hasn't released a policy format. I think it would ultimately be a bad idea for him to run. I think that he would. I would make a prediction that even if he ran against Trump, I think he would lose. I just don't. I don't see him being a force against Sanders, and I think that, if to be honest, I think Bernie Sanders would actually beat Joe Biden. So, but then again, I don't know, because the party shenanigans with the superdelegates, I don't know if they got rid of that. But I know that the inner party would work for a Biden candidacy, and I don't see him garnering enough support. And I think he would just make a fool out of himself if he ran. I don't see anything good coming out of him running. And I think he just represents the good old politics of yesterday, which is like the 90s Clinton strategy of, like, hey, we just need to be hardworking Americans and be patriots or something, or like just some bullshit rhetoric talk, which no one really understands. I just don't think that his era of politics is good for today's atmosphere, if that makes any sense.
I got you on that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought the same thing. I do think that if he ran, Biden would have a great chance, but I think effectively he would get beaten out by a person like Bernie. It's annoying to see that he does still have that much support when he is a very centrist person in the party. I was going to ask you, though, who would you say right now, in your opinion, is the front runner in 2020, and why? And then who would you say is maybe a dark horse that has a possibility?
All right, cool. For me, I would say the obvious answer is Bernie Sanders. For Bernie, I think that he's going to build off of his momentum from 2016, and he's the most liked politician in the U.S. Polls suggest that most Democrats actually support him, and I don't know where the mainstream media is getting their numbers for having Biden ahead. I think it's just their attempt of trying to push an establishment corporate centrist as the nominee. But yeah, I would definitely say Bernie Sanders is the front runner. And for a dark horse, I wouldn't know. I don't know if there's really a dark horse in this race. I think it's going to be a two-man race between not Harris, but Biden and Sanders. I think Harris may do a little damage, but I don't think she'll ultimately be that successful. But I
Her
did hear.
record on what she has done as Attorney General of California is going to hurt her in the long run.
Oh, I know. If anyone mentions policy, which probably no one will, because no one really mentions policy anymore. Maybe Bernie will, but yeah, she's gonna have a tough time with that. I think I did hear that Pete Buttigieg, the governor, you think he's the mayor of South Bend, Indiana? I think that's South Bend. I'm not sure if the media is accurately saying that he's getting support, like a lot of support, but
He
I heard
has
that he's like
2.9%.
I have no idea. So I just heard of his name. I actually took the I side with quiz, which you can align with a candidate, and I actually aligned with him the most, which is surprising.
How funny.
I didn't think that, like, I guess he's kind of progressive, but like he kind of has like his rhetoric is seems to be like Obama-ish, and I don't know if he really represents any change like Bernie does. But for dark horses, yeah, I'm not really sure if there's going to be a dark horse. I think it's going to be a two-man race.
Yeah, unfortunately, I might have to agree with you on that. I will say I'm happy that Tulsi got enough donors. And by the way, happy birthday to Tulsi. It's her birthday today. I think she's 37 today, if I'm not mistaken. 37 or 38. Happy birthday, Tulsi. Good luck. You're going to need it, and I freaking hope you get somewhere because you deserve it with what you've been able to do so far. But Tulsi, she's gotten enough donors to where she's going to be on the debate stage. But, I know
Sweet.
you've mentioned this. I'm very happy that she's on there, by the way. I know you mentioned this, and I'd be fine with it if she did become the vice presidential nominee of Bernie, because God forbid if he did pass away, you'd have a goddamn good person that would be in there as the president for the second person there. So
Oh, for sure.
I would love a Bernie. I would vote for a Bernie Tulsi ticket if he did have her as the VP. But to me, you're not going to find a person, Republican, Democrat, that is going to be more of an anti-war message than Tulsi. And I'm so glad that she has gone on that. Unfortunately, the American people aren't going to probably hear that and be like, think, oh, even though she's a person in the military, maybe we should listen to her. Unfortunately, they're going to get blinded out by the media and, other key figures. But, I agree with you. I think it's going to come down to Biden, Bernie. I think Bernie's probably got the best chance as of right now, in my opinion. So, good luck to him. Hopefully he gets that done. If you had any final thoughts on that, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I think Tulsi would be an amazing pick for Bernie, but I think that his advisors are gonna shill and be like, no, don't pick Tulsi, because I know she's kind of a mixed case. Like, I don't know if she's ultimately that progressive. She's she's voted with Republicans on some issues, and Democrats. But I think that she kind of represents the anti-war agenda, which is pretty popular.
Yeah.
And she's young and attractive. She's a minority. Like she would ultimately be the ultimate package for Bernie, because if you think about it, like, I think Bernie is gonna do okay with he's gonna mainly get the working white class voters.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would need help on the minority side, possibly.
Yeah.
So I think Tulsi Gabbard would be a good balance, and especially moderates who want to hop on board. Tulsi Gabbard seems to be more moderate than Bernie, in my opinion.
And you completely read my mind, because what I was going to say is not just that, but you're going to have some of those idiots in the Democratic Party that are the SJW people that are like,
Oh,
I don't want to vote for an old white man, even though he actually is going to do something for me.
Yeah.
No, they're going to say, no, we want a minority woman in there, which is why, oh my God, the media is going, oh my God, we got a minority woman in Kamala Harris. Oh my God, she's so great. Oh, Tulsi Gabbard? Oh, ignore her. So, but if Tulsi did end up on the ticket with Bernie, you would get some of those SJW people being like, oh, at least he has a minority woman on the side. They'd go off identity politics, unfortunately, which is all that matters in today's society, unfortunately. But, so I think it's a good PR move and if he did pick Tulsi, but I agree with you that they probably will try to advise him against it for some reason. One thing I wanted to ask you real quick, because, and I would assume you have a license and you're driving?
Oh, actually don't. Okay, really
no problem. No problem. All right, sorry for calling. I didn't know. Sorry.
Hey, dude, it doesn't matter. It's totally fine.
I was going to ask you though, because I know that there's a lot of talk, at least on social media, about a lot of people are going to be protesting the gas tax in California by not getting gas on the 15th when it's supposed to go up a ton and then go back down. But what is your thought on everybody that voted for the gas tax and your thought on the gas tax in general? Do you think that that's a good thing? Or just what's your thought on that?
For the gas tax, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really pay attention too much to California propositions, but yeah, I would say I'm not educated enough to have a stance. But for if it's supposed to bring in more revenue, I don't remember what they said it was going to bring in revenue for roads. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's really going to be directed towards roads, and I think that it probably will be or tax dollars will probably get wasted, in my opinion. So I don't know if it's worth raising gas prices because they're already high enough. So I'm not sure where I stand on that. But yeah, I don't really have any strong feelings towards if I support it or not. So I'm not sure.
Basically, okay, let's see. It says right here, Alternative fuel is subject to a state excise tax of Section 8651. An excise tax is imposed for the use of fuel at 18 cents per gallon as of 2019. 6 cents per each gallon of liquefied petroleum of gas used. Here we go. Here's another story from the LA Times. Gas tax bills could give us $4 to $5 a gallon gas like California. California hiked its gas tax for road repairs, yet poor bridges have multiplied in the state. So obviously, like you said, whenever they say they're going to use it for something, be very, be very questioning of that. So yeah, it's, to me, I didn't get it. And obviously the state's going to be hurting economically from that because people are going to be getting killed because they're going to be paying basically $1 more per gallon of gas than they would have less than a year ago, unfortunately. Obviously, some of that does come back to the top because of, where we get our gas and stuff like that. And it depends on how much it's going to cost a gallon off that and inflation. There's a lot of variables, but I think it was more of a negative than anything else and a way for them to pocket more money, essentially. That's just my opinion, though, on that. Getting into the next issue, we're going to shift gears and actually go right into sports and start talking about that. And we're going to talk about your Raiders because apparently they're going to play one more year in Oakland. It looked like last year would be their last year, but they're going to play one more year in Oakland and then they're going to go off and, go be the Vegas Raiders. So I wanted to... Yeah, my dad said, this is the last year I'll be supporting them and then bye-bye.
Is he hopping on the 49ers bandwagon?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Oh, well.
But what I will say is you lucky motherfuckers got Antonio Brown and Burfict, even though they hated each other back in the Bengals and the Steelers. You guys got them, which is going to help you guys out tremendously. And I wanted to first, before I ask your thoughts on the draft, because you guys have the 4th pick in the draft, what is your thought with the new, big talent that you have in there, along with who you have re-signed? What are your thoughts on next year and where you guys might sit at the end of the season?
So I think the Antonio Brown trade was like one of the best trades in freaking history. Like, prove me wrong. I do, yeah, because our receivers were kind of shit last year, and they are usually every year. I do think that was a great addition. I think we also got another receiver. I can't remember. I haven't really been paying attention to football news. Do you remember who the other receiver we got was?
You go ahead and talk. I'm gonna look that up because I know you guys did.
Okay. It was like, I think it was a guy from the Chargers or something. I can't remember, but I think we definitely need receiver talent. But on top of that, I think we also have a quarterback that's past his time. I think Derek Carr is a freaking travesty. I wish we would have got rid of him. I don't think he's terrible, but I don't think he's the answer as well. On top of receivers, I was kind of hoping we would get a new quarterback. Ultimately, I see the Raiders. I don't know if the Raiders are going to improve that much because I still think we need too much on defense. And I think we're making the same mistake last year. I see us having a better record, maybe at 6-10 or 8-8 or 7-9. I think somewhere in that realm. I don't really see us having a playoff season. Hopefully a winning season, but somewhere in the middle, I'd say. But I don't think we're going to do that good, to be honest.
Of course, my computer froze. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, I don't even think did we re-sign Lynch? I don't think we did.
Not yet. There's still rumors that he will, but not yet. So that hasn't been confirmed. But obviously, you guys have completely rehauled your guys' wide receivers because Nelson retired. Roberts is signed with Baltimore. They basically threw away the position when they traded Amari Cooper to the Cowboys last year, which in my opinion was probably one of the worst trades of the season.
But Amari Cooper, he wasn't great for the Raiders. Like, I understand that he's doing amazing for the Cowboys, but he didn't really prove himself. Like, I don't necessarily disagree on that trade, but it is kind of depressing seeing him ball out with the Dallas.
Also, so the guy that you're talking about, Tyrell Williams from
Tyrell Williams.
Yeah, and he's a decent player. But obviously, and then you guys, Jared Cook went to New Orleans, so you guys are short a tight end now.
Oh shit! Did he really go to New Orleans?
Yeah, he's going to New Orleans, so you got that as an issue as well. So yeah, you guys got some holes for sure.
Yeah,
but
we're gonna go 4-12 again. 4-12. I'm convinced. Like we just have two receivers now.
Well, okay, what I will say, I really still think that your guys' offense has improved. I think you obviously need to draft definitely some guys on defense, especially up there in that
Oh
line.
yeah.
Well,
We need to have an all defense draft.
yeah,
Like let's not
that
fuck
will be
around,
the end of
boys.
part 3. We'll be right back with part 4.